As you can see now, I have gotten my shape down pretty much where I want it. My next step that I'm going to do is work on the primary bevel grind. So as you can see, I've kind of marked out what I want my bevel to be, and basically the process I'm going to do is I have my center line marked. You probably can't see it right now, but there's a scratch down the middle. I've got my center line marked, and I'm going to go through and start pretty steep and then work to get that center of the blade right about where I want it, and then work that whole bevel line up to my Sharpie mark, and that will get my bevel ready. And then after I do that, I'll go through, drill my pinholes, and get a good heat treat on it. So just a little update. You can see I have kind of the first half of my bevel done. You can see a pretty distinct line right there. And the knife is down fairly sharp, or not sharp, but thin. I don't want to have it completely sharp because it'll mess up when I get the heat treat, but that's that part. Now, up to this point, I've been using a 40 grit belt. I'm going to switch down to 120, just because I'm doing a lot more fine detail stuff, and I do not want to be taking a ton of material off this all at once. So, moving down to 120, and I'll update you guys in a minute. Okay, so now I have my bevel done and all of my holes are drilled. I double checked that all the pins fit. So with all that done, it is time to go ahead and heat treat it. So this is the real important part, but we'll knock it out. Okay, so we had a successful heat treat. Everything went according to plan. Blade's still straight, and file skates right off of it, so it is a hard blade. So I'm gonna call it a night for tonight, but I have got a lot of work to do tomorrow. But the bulk of the blade work is done. I just got to do some finishing up and then throw a handle on it. Okay, so I'm back in the shop today and started working on knocking all of the scale off of the blade, so everything got nice and cleaned up. And then I worked on doing a little bit of more work on my bevel grinds, kind of cleaning it up a little bit and working to a finer grit. Now what my plan for the day is, I'm going to start working on putting my handle together. So I've got my pins. I've got 6 of these 16th inch pins. I got my thong tube cut out, and then I did 2 of these scales of, I'm not sure what type of wood this is, but it's pretty dense and it's a nice dark color. So I liked it for this knife, and now what I'm going to do is clamp my blade to the scale and work on drilling holes in my handle. Okay, so I got all my holes drilled. You can see some of the pins are in. Now the next thing I want to do is right on this edge right here, I want to have a nice rounded edge on my handle. So what I'm going to do is, before I put the handle on the blade, I'm actually going to go ahead and round it now so that I'm not working on tiny little edges and spending hours trying to just get that roundness. So that's my next step. I'm going to go to the belt grinder, round that off, and then we'll work on putting the handle on.